because the way my partner and I discovered music, again, this is not our parents, you know, my parents are baby boomers. We didn't have George Clinton records at home.
Right.
But in used record stores, people were only buying King Crimson records. So all the disco and the funk records, they were 25 cents in the used bins covered in dust. We used to just go and buy the records with the guys with the biggest afros. I didn't know what yeah, we didn't know. That was our
That's
criteria.
great, man.
We were like, oh my God, Brothers Johnson, look at their afros. They're side by side. Look at Earth, Wind and Fire. We didn't know what Earth, Wind and Fire was. We was like, who calls their band Earth, Wind and Fire? And we'd go home and just study it and learn it, you know, and it was amazing.
I mean, I really got it. I mean, for me, I really got into that on the dance floor. You know, I mean, when I was
I'm 14 years old. I'm not going to the club.
Yeah, I mean, 79, 80, I mean, was around about the time we got involved with the Rum Runner nightclub in Birmingham. And it was a big transition because we'd been going to punk gigs and whatnot. And then, but then this world just opened up for us. And we started going to this club and there was a lot of cross dressing going on. And it was a really interesting mixture. There were like a few rockers, but a lot of soul boys. Yeah. Everybody dressed for this club.
That's amazing.
Everybody. And 7 days a week. And each day would have a different feel. You know, so Nick would DJ there. So there'd be like a kind of a progressive pop electro vibe when he would play. There was a soul night on Sundays where kids would come from all over the Midlands, you know, as if they were going to, well, it was a soul night, you know? And, you know, we soaked all of that up. And, you know, I don't know if you know this about us, but we got to set the gear up in an adjacent bar just off the dance floor. And so when the night was over, you know, it was like, you know, 1 a.m. when the DJ equipment would turn off, everybody would kind of walk up into our rehearsal room and we'd play a few songs.
Wow.
You know, so that it was absolutely extraordinary.
Incredible.
You know, an incredible opportunity. And so to get to play in that way. I don't know why I went off on that tangent.
That's a good tangent.
But, you know, all I know is, I mean, like, I don't know that, you know, I would have gotten into Earth, Wind and Fire had I not been on a dance floor.
Yeah.
You know, and hearing records like bands, artists like that in that kind, that's where you really get it. You know, you have to have people around you and everybody's getting into step. And it's like, this is the shit, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's funny. I never experienced it like that until much later. We were just kids. We had never heard people play like that. In fact, when I first listened to that music, I almost felt ashamed that it made me want to dance. Because
really?
Yeah, because we were rock kids. You don't dance. Right. Dancing was like never. Are you kidding me? And I almost felt ashamed. I was like,
now look at you.
Yeah. No.
And now you're a dancing fool.
You know what you were saying about the bass is so funny because my partner, so I played guitar and my partner played bass. My partner is from a family of Lebanese immigrants who didn't speak a word of English, and they did not know what a bass was. They didn't really even know what a guitar was. They used to call it mandolins. They you know, because in Arabic music, it's the mandolin you play. Right. So when he asked his mom for a bass, first of all, he had to tell her it's a guitar because his mom didn't know what a bass was. And then he had the bass at home and his parents would be like, well, Patrick, play us a song, play us a song. And Patrick was on the bass and he's like, well, I can't. Well, what do you mean? You have your mandolin. Well, yeah, but I have to play with people. Well, but just play us a song. It's got strings. Man. Just play something. And he'd play, you know, a bass line and people would be like, where's this? Why did I spend $400 on this, you know?
I get that too. I think that's the reason why after all this time, I started taking piano lessons about a year ago. Because I get sick of people saying at a party saying, hey, why don't you play something? Trust me, if I start playing the bass line to Rio, nobody's going to, in this situation, it's going to be meaningless. Okay, so actually we're getting time checks. We've got to wrap this up. This is like, because we're calling this the Stone Love Bass Odyssey, I'm going to ask you, and top of your head, what's your favorite bass line?
Oh, wow. My favorite bass line, Good Times is the best bass line of all time.
Yeah, I feel you there.
It's the best. I have to, in rock, maybe in rock. John Paul Jones had some funky
No
ones.
doubt, no doubt.
He was a little soulful in his own way, I think.
Without a doubt. And John Entwistle, I mean, there's some fantastic bass players. But let's take Good Times. I think that's
it's the best of all time.
I think
that's
that's a good,
because you know why? Because it moves on the neck too. You know what I'm saying? It moves, so it's got such a range. It's the craziest thing on earth. You know.
It's been a real pleasure, Dave. I really appreciate it.
Likewise,
and I appreciate everybody that's been with us on this this live feed. And you know, I kind of want to apologize for not checking in with everybody that's been sending in their questions and well wishes. Just getting this thing going. But Dave and I, we're music freaks. We can talk about music forever, and I hope that that's been amusing for everybody to listen to. I have to. Oh yes, in terms of reconnecting with the real world, what are you most? When things? I mean, I hate using this kind of language. When things go back to, what are you missing most about the way you're having to live at this moment?
I want to go to the Met. I told Atlanta. We're not going back to New York until the Met reopens. You know, we're used to going to New York is a giant playground for us. We're always doing museums and walking. I want to go to the museum, and I don't want to go if they're limiting capacity. I want to go. I want it to be crowded. Right. I want to be yelling at tourists in my head. You know, I miss that. But yeah, definitely like New York City style museums is what I miss the most.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Well, listen, thanks, Dave. Thanks so much. I'll see you. I'll see you at the church. And you know, and if you don't follow Dave and Chromeo, please do. There's some. I mean, and we didn't even mention these songs that you've been posting.
The quarantine songs.
Your quarantine songs are the best remedy for the coronavirus right now that I'm aware of. And thanks everybody for watching. See you next week. Cheers.
Later. Thank you.
This is Fans. Thank you, fans. And look forward to connecting again in the real world. Yes, there's going to be another guest next week. Thank you all very much. I mean, I really could have just left it.